Hey, so I'm reading a chapter of a book to you, but first, before I read it, I wanted to share my story about dreams and how they've helped me make sense of my life. There's been a lot of things that have come up in my dreams. I've always had vivid dreams, we'll start there. I've always had vivid dreams. I've always been interested in my dreams, but it wasn't until I started working with someone who helped me to use them in a very productive and meaningful way so that I could heal some of the things that I wasn't conscious of about myself. So it's been about a year, maybe a little longer than that, like a year and a half, since I've started using my dreams for healing and growth. And one of the most surprising things to me about using your dreams is that I learned was everything in a dream represents you. There's a few exceptions to that, but basically everything that happens or every person or every symbol in your dream is an aspect of yourself. And it's a way that your subconscious and your soul and your guides speak to you about what's unknown. There's messages, there's warnings, there's information. And when I say warnings, I mean warnings about you, warnings about your health, warnings about ways you can improve, or if you continue going down this way, it may lead to negative results. So the warnings come in the dream to help you avoid that behavior or pattern that you might be unaware of. So I was really surprised to know that everything in the dream basically represents you. If there's another person, then it's most likely an aspect of yourself that you're unconscious of. And I remember when the first time that I realized that, I didn't like it because there was someone in my dream, and I don't even remember who, but there was someone that was a negative character in the dream, and I was told by the person that I have done a lot of my spiritual growth and work with that that person actually was an aspect of myself that I was unconscious to. So a lot of times dreams are showing you your shadow, and that can be a pretty not a really fun place to be. But if you're ready to heal and you're ready to get these messages and see the shadow, then it's just super helpful. So this book that I'm reading now is called How to Interpret Your Dreams and Discover Your Life Purpose. It's by Michael Sheridan, and I've been using his dictionary for the past year or so. This is probably backwards. Is it backwards? I can't tell because the camera's facing me. So I'm going to be doing probably another video on this because I'm doing more research on it. But if you're familiar with Carl Jung and how he uses dream symbolisms and the collective unconscious, then this is kind of right up your alley maybe, or if you are curious about that stuff. I'm a beginner, so it's not like I'm not coming to you like telling you how it is. I'm just sharing the experience I've had with my dreams in the past year and a half, and basically my interest in using my dreams led me to this book because I wanted to learn more. And I rely on the woman I work with to interpret most of my dreams, and I've learned a lot from her over the year, but I wanted to kind of take it upon myself to learn a little more, so I don't have to rely on her to interpret all of them for me. Another huge thing that came about for me in my dreams was as I began to heal emotional and mental aspects of myself, my dreams started to show me my spiritual gifts. And everyone watching this, everybody in the world has spiritual gifts. So it's not like I'm special. Everybody has their own special spiritual gifts. They could be psychic abilities, hands-on healing, working with animals, communicating with the other side. There's just so many spiritual gifts. Being a spiritual teacher, being a leader. So one of the first things that came up in my dreams was my gift was working with crystals, and I was pretty surprised by that because I thought, well, everybody likes crystals nowadays, including me. Like, I've gotten swept up into this, but it's actually it turned out to be a spiritual gift. So when I learned that, I was able to take it much more seriously, because my soul and my guides were basically telling me, take this seriously, this is a gift, and you should run with it. So that kind of set me free on this journey of getting more into crystals and chakra healing and energy healing and channeling and all of that. So it's really just made me a better coach, because I'm able to follow my soul's calling. The reason why I, came to this earth, that, our souls have a purpose here on earth. And a lot of times it is to kind of combine our earthly pursuits with our spiritual gifts. And once you can do that, you're living more in alignment with your true self, and life becomes less, there's less friction, and it's more flowed, it's more in flow, and you're more in tune with like higher aspects of yourself and these other dimensions. So when I started to see that my spiritual gifts were coming in dreams, it kind of gave me permission to do the things that I think I was always called to do or drawn to, but I felt hesitant about, or worried, or wondered what people would think, or how can I make it a reality. But none of that stuff matters once you get confirmation in your dreams that this is what you are gifted to do. So there's some symbols that will indicate crystals as a gift, and same with channeling abilities and healing, using your hands for healing, or doing psychic sort of healing. All of these gifts have ways that they show up in your dreams. So I think this title, How to Interpret Your Dreams and Discover Your Life Purpose, is very much in line with that title is saying, using your dreams to understand your life purpose. Well, that partly is what are my spiritual gifts, but a lot of times before we can express and use our spiritual gifts or tap into them, we first have to heal the baggage that we've carried from this lifetime or previous lifetimes, and those symbols will also will show up in your dreams. So I've used my dreams for all those purposes. First, it was very much about healing, finding out aspects of myself that were unconscious and working on those. Even, there's ways to determine if a spiritual guide or one of your guides is speaking to you in the dream. So there's, like I said, most people in your dreams and most things in your dreams are an aspect of you, but there are certain indications of a spirit guide showing up in your dream, and that's how you can tell, like, okay, this was a guide who came in my dream, and this was an aspect of me. There's different ways of doing that, but I won't get into that. I just want to read this chapter just because I thought this is chapter 4. I'm only at like chapter, I think I'm in chapter 4 still. Yeah, I'm only in chapter 4. But the beginning of this chapter was just so inspiring that I wanted to share it and read it. So I'm going to read the whole chapter to you. It's a couple pages, not very long, but it's just so good. Yeah, it's only like 2 pages really. But I thought, oh, this is good. I'll highlight what I want to share. But then I realized I'm going to end up highlighting the whole chapter. So I just decided I'll read it. Okay, so this is chapter 4 of the book. It's called Heart Matters. We teach people how to, this is a quote, we teach people how to remember. We never teach them how to grow. And that's Oscar Wilde. So dreams are helping us remember who we really are, helping us remember aspects of ourselves. They're not really changing us. They're helping us remember something that we've forgotten because we incarnated and we're not meant to remember everything that our soul knows. So if I say you need to look after your heart, what comes to mind? You probably conjure up an image of the physical organ in your body and then think of other things like diet and exercise. You tick mental boxes beside memories of how often you exercised or ate the right food. A quick analysis will deliver a result telling you that you either need to do more of that, your heart should be just fine. I'm like butchering this first chapter. Just let me get through the first few sentences. While it is true, the heart needs these things, the way to a healthy heart starts way before you get to either diet or exercise. The way is balance. You are a fusion of male and female energy, which ideally should be in balance. The fact that you are a fusion of male and female energy cannot be questioned. The physical you did not come into existence until a male sperm fused with a female egg. Thus, your physical form was created, a fusion of male and female energies, both in harmony and balanced. For the rest of your life, each cell in your body, and therefore your whole being, will continue to be a fusion of that male and female energy. In the West, this obvious fact of nature is often overlooked. This is possibly through the confusion of mistaking male and female energies with men and women, but that is not the same thing at all. It is perhaps that analogy that causes the concept to be rejected most often. Female energy has nothing to do with being a woman, and male energy has nothing to do with being a man. Qualities of either energy can show through in any person, regardless of gender. Knowledge of this fusion of energies is endemic in other cultures. The Chinese concept of yin and yang, the symbol for which is shown here, will help illustrate what it means. I'll show you the symbol real quick. The outer circle represents you, and the black and white shapes within the circle represent the interplay of male and female energy within you. These energies are constantly interacting. Indeed, their very interaction is a vital component of life. Neither shape is complete without the other, signifying that neither energy can exist without the other, and that nothing can be completely just one energy. In Chinese philosophy, yin and yang extends to everything. You cannot have night without day, light without dark, life without death, positive without negative. Everything is a system of balance. In the Hindu chakra system, the heart chakra is the balance point, integrating the world of matter, the lower three chakras, with the world of spirit, the upper three chakras. Within the balance system, your heart is governed by female energy and your head by male energy. While this has nothing to do with gender, men in general do tend to display more male energy traits, while women show more female energy traits. Women are often accused by men of being too emotional, while men are accused by women of being too logical. Emotions come from your heart, while logic comes from your head. A balanced heart is one that is given the opportunity for emotional expression. This is a two-way street, a system of give and take. Let your heart feel other people's emotions and allow yourself to express how you feel both to yourself and to others. This sounds so obvious, but I can say with certainty that many of us train ourselves not to do it. Indeed, we have trained ourselves so well that we are not even aware we are blocking it anymore. Left unchecked, the physical effect of this behavior can be disastrous. An imbalance in your heart can lead to related physical health problems. Indeed, Heart-related illness is responsible for almost half of the deaths in the Western world. Although many people are aware of this staggering statistic, they view it merely as a statistic, and for some reason, people don't relate well to statistics. I encounter this regularly. I am often asked for symbols that indicate cancer, but never asked how dreams indicate heart problems. This in itself is indicative of a problem. In my experience, we as a society are not really concerned about our hearts, and that leaves the door open for problems to manifest without us even being aware. We are living in a male energy age, the Piscean age. We are moving into a female energy age, the Aquarian age, but we are not there yet. In this male energy age, society has very much adopted male institutions such as the church, the medical profession, schooling, government, etc. These institutions will change in harmony with the female energy of the Aquarian age, or they will be pushed out. Until then, we suffer the effects of this male dominance in our society. Again, don't confuse male and female energy with men and women. For women to succeed in male energy institutions, they must become as male energy oriented as their male counterparts. You may be surprised to see schooling in my list of male institutions, so let me explain why it is there. Our schools place emphasis on academic achievement, male side of ourselves, and very little on expression of the very feelings within that make us what we are. We are taught in this way from a very young age. The separation of male and female aspects grow as we progress through the school system. Our children are taught to read and answer the questions on texts to measure their comprehension, male. Compassion is not encouraged. Children are not given tests that measure their feelings of love, sadness, happiness, anger, joy, etc., or lessons that teach them how to express these feelings. You never see a question on a paper that asks, how did that make you feel? How did you feel when? There is no system in place or training given to mark an answer given to a question like this. It is not that we don't have the ability. Counselors measure and help people to express their feelings all the time. However, it is deemed irrelevant in the pursuit of academic achievement. There are no exceptions to this rule, but the exceptions are individuals working with the system rather than the system itself. While the educational system biases us towards suppression of feelings, for many of us, the suppression starts at a much younger age. Through hypnotic regression of others, I have seen patterns that show typically when separation from feelings begins. A newborn infant expects and needs unconditional love from mother. If this love is not given or not given unconditionally, the newborn feels a great sadness and a sense of loss. A newborn cannot rationalize and can only view the world through feelings. This sadness continues for as long as the child is not loved unconditionally. Many parents are guilty of arguing about their newborn or young child in their presence, assuming that a lack of understanding of spoken language prevents the child from picking up on their anguish. This couldn't be further from the truth. The child is more in tune with the parent's feelings than the parent is. They have not yet learned to suppress their sensitivity. They live in this wash of feelings, searching for the unconditional love from mother that makes life worth the effort. Regressions have also shown me that this deep sadness lasts until at most the end of the second year. By then, it is replaced with a very deeply rooted anger. If you could visualize it, a wall develops between the sadness and the anger. The sadness was felt continually by the child, and in order to prevent this pain, a wall was created so that others cannot get close enough to hurt them in the future. Outside the wall, anger is directed at all who approach. Those close enough to see the anger are unlikely to ever get past the walled defense to see the sadness that is suppressed. The reality is, however, that we cannot just separate ourselves from one feeling, the sadness. In our attempt to separate ourselves from sadness, we separate ourselves from all feelings. It is at this point our potential to develop a physical problem to do with the heart is created. From a child's perspective, this is not a problem. Their only concern is to suppress the pain, a pain they now associate with living. Anything that will eventually bring them back to the spirit world they just left is not seen as a threat. Many years later, however, when the memory of the spirit world is obscured, the thought of returning there can evoke great fear. Okay, so that's chapter 4. Well, that's the start of chapter 4. And I just wanted to share it because I think it's a good, I guess, reminder of the importance of emotions. It's also, I think, really relevant for heart disease and heart issues and the type of cancers that are so big in our country, in our culture, and around the world, I'm sure. But I know that US has staggering numbers and statistics like the book talked about. But what the book is saying is, and what I really love, is that a lot of diseases start because of a lack of something in an organ or in even the spiritual body. So if you're repressing or suppressing something from your heart, it can lead to heart problems. And I just wanted to share it. It seemed important. There was also something else he said. Oh, right, the Aquarian age. So from what I understand, I don't even know if we're in the Aquarian age, but I do know that the number 2022, which is the year that I'm making this video, is a feminine number. All the twos are feminine. So yeah, this was written, it seems like, in 2015. So this is a little bit, I think we have entered the Aquarian age. I want to say we did in 2021, and I could be wrong, but this is kind of what's happening on a global level. There's a shift from masculine energy to feminine energy, which is, I think a lot of it was seen in 2021 with the way things broke down, and also we started to look inward. I think, we started to see maybe more problems at home, or pay more attention to our relationships with others and relationships to self. Mental health became more at the forefront of people's minds and as a society. So those are all indications of the feminine energy, just being more tuned in to feelings and the senses that aren't as concrete or logically based. So yeah, I think as we move into this more feminine energy, it's that the topics brought up in that book are really important, because it really does not have anything to do with gender, nothing at all. Gay couples will have usually a partner who is on the more feminine energy side, and then since polar opposites attract, then the other partner would have more masculine energy, but it has nothing to do with the actual gender. So every person, every being does have a balance of these two, or I should say has a harmony of these two energies, female and masculine, but it's not necessarily that they're perfectly in balance. Like, I tend to be more of a feminine energy person, but I still have masculine energy, and I have friends who are women who have higher masculine energy and lower feminine energy. And so it's not exactly a straight balance for us, but we do have them working as a harmony, and there's an ebb and flow between feminine and masculine. And what the book is pointing out is that our society and culture was built on more masculine energy and more masculine constructs, and that's changing. So we're in a time of change, and I think we all know that. And so like this, I think what I love too about this sort of stuff is when you do your personal work, when you work on your internal landscapes and your shadow and the things that need healing in you, you are doing the work for others and the collective, because we're just a microcosm of the collective. So when you do your work, you are helping the planet. You are helping, with the harmony and the balance of these energies, because you're healing them in you. And it's like the I, we, all concept, or as above, so below. We're just a little sample of what's happening on a large scale. So of course, if we, look into this stuff and we kind of think about it and see it integrate in our own personal lives, we will see it reflected outward. Okay, so hopefully that's motivating and inspiring in some way, or it triggers some kind of curiosity. And yeah, sorry for the stumbling through the chapter at certain points. I don't have my glasses on because I think I look better without them. And so yeah, I get nervous too. So I just was stumbling a little bit, but I think you got the message. And if you want to read it, just again, the book is called How to Interpret Your Dreams, and it's by Michael Sheridan. So I'm not sure if this is, I can't really tell if this is backwards, but it's Michael, common way of spelling Michael, and then Sheridan, Sheridan.